To join this conference. Also, in fact, it's my first trip to Taiwan. I feel really privileged to be able to join this conference. I think yesterday we already heard quite a few presentations. In fact, those two what I'm going to talk. In fact, Mr. James Parry, in his presentation, also mentioned the importance of connectivity for wetlands. And in my talk, I will even more focus on another different part of wetlands, which is the role of the rivers and the lakes. And also, only by yesterday that I know that here in Taiwan we also got another type of salmon. Otherwise, I will use the Taiwanese salmon, on my in my presentation. And this one is, I think, for North Americans probably very good. And in fact, this sort of a symbolic picture as we talk about river connectivity and river flows and why it's important. In fact, even for the scientists, the river flows or the environmental flows, it's relatively very, very new concept. And only by 2007, in the Brisbane International River Symposium, then the scientists gathered together and they agreed and proposed this definition. So environmental flows is really focused on few elements. It's both about water quality, quantity, and also about water timing. In fact, in many rivers, the challenge to manage water timing is even much more challenging than the other elements. This concept has been, developed in the past few years, and then gets lots of attention by different, river managers, practitioners, the scientific community. But also in many countries, they start to revisit how this concept can be incorporated into the policies, legislations related to the river management. I'll just spend a few seconds to share with you a little more about this concept. If you know this, this is a very common hydrograph, especially for rivers in the North Hemisphere. Basically, across the whole year, you have a very dry spring, and you have the summer and monsoon season, like in the East Asia rivers, and then the river goes a little bit lower again. So this is quite normal, hydrography. However, at the different time of the year, when it's low flows, few high flows, or later flows, in fact, each of the flow events have very different implications to the river ecology. And in the typical natural low flows, the river will look like this. The water levels in the river is very low, and then the connectivity with the floodplain is got very limited connectivity. But also, this is the time for lots of plants to grow up on the floodplain. Also, lots of birds and live in this floodplain. Fish can still move upstream and downstream. So this is typical picture with the river a very low flow. And then during the high flow season, it's quite different flow at the floodplain, it's got a much higher level. And then the fish can move between the mainstream and the floodplain area. And then the larvae develop in the floodplain. And then the much more water bird can live in the floodplain. So that's why it is important to understand the ecological implications of different flow scenario, and then really to consider how to manage the river system in this context. The connectivity is very important because rivers are very unique ecosystems that connect the terrestrial and also the ocean systems. Especially if you look at the many rivers in North America, In fact, lots of fish, after they spawning, they will die, and then they become such important nutrients for the floodplain, for the floodplain forest in the downstream areas. It's not only the river system, but also the forest system in the floodplain area. Rivers are also very important to connect with different communities, different cultures along the river system. And they also, along the river system, very often, if you look at the large system of the world, whether it's the mountain of the Congo, even within one single country like the Yangtze, the river system really connects different communities that share the different culture and share the different practice, tradition. It is very important to look at the connectivity from the river perspective. Rivers have always been supporting human development. In fact, the major civilization of the world, in fact, is really involved in the few major rivers of the world. The rivers have been providing livelihood, food to the community to develop, and also many other products to support the human development. However, the understanding of the river ecology is far behind of many other subjects. And because the river system is quite complicated, and also it's not easy really to understand. You have to spend the time to understand the hydrological system, but also spend lots of time to catch different fish, to understand their behaviors, what kinds of flows they like, what kind of habitat they like. It takes quite some time to really understand the system. If we look at the major rivers of the world, in fact, many of the large rivers of the world have been dammed, which really become a challenge from the ecological perspective. These are the numbers. It's a little updated. That's from the best report we put out in 2006. If you look at the world major rivers, which are longer than 1,000 kilometers, 64 of them have been dammed. That was in 2004. If you look at the situation now, it's probably even worse. If you look at the rivers that directly drain to the ocean system, only 59 rivers haven't been dammed yet. We fully understand to build the dams, build the water infrastructure is needed in many places to supply water, to supply the power to the community. But from the ecological perspective, it is very challenging, and it's blocked the migratory route of the fish species. If you look at the future, it's going to be much more dams, either for storage or for hydropower or for multiple purpose, will be built in the future. And on this map, the red dots are the plan. You can see that few hotspots on this map in Asia, Himalaya region, and also the Mekong Sullivan River are the hotspots. The challenge for us is how are we going to decide where to build them and how to build them and how to maintain them in the future. And if you look at the Upper Yangtze, so this is the map show how many dams have been proposed or have been developed in the Upper Yangtze area. So the red one is planned, it's existing. Then those two are the plan for the mid-term and the long-term in the future. So you can say it's not really a river system anymore. It's just one reservoir after another. And this will have significant impact on the river ecology in the future. Because of that, since I was born, the freshwater living planet index has declined 76%. So from the beginning of the 70s until 2010, 67% of the population decline, which is much faster than that is happening in the forest and that of the ocean systems. the future is not brighter anymore if all the dams, as I showed on the previous maps, are going to be built. And this is going to be even worse in the future. So what are the solutions? The case is challenging. As conservation organization, we also understand that we need to balance the development of the conservation, and we understand in many places we still need the hard power to supply the energy to the future. So the WEF started to work on this since the beginning of this century, and we put forward a petition on dams, but also try to share with you a few areas that we have been very active. The first area we focus on is really to understand the river ecology, understand the environmental flow need, and then be able to work with scientists to do the environmental flow assessment in different countries. I will share with you more details later. The second is trying to work with farmers to start to restore the river connectivity. The third one is try to manage the existing major infrastructures, because many dams already have been built on the river system. And how can we manage and reoperate them to meet both the social economic needs, but also to be able to mitigate some of the impacts, to have much more benefit to the downstream, especially downstream environment. And fourthly, to promote the basin planning. Fifthly, start to mainstream the environmental flows into national but also global policies. Regarding understand and assess the environmental flows, we put forward, for example, a primer to have the different audience to understand why we need to keep the rivers flowing. We have been working with farmers to do various assessments. This is the case in the Mara River, which is the major river in the Kenya. This is the Africa beast, the wild beast. It's a fascinating. If you have watched the documentary of this species, how they migrate to different parts of the country, how they cross the river, how they really rely on the river system of the Mara. We also have, for example, the assessment in the Ganga River in India, through which we developed a methodology how to do the environmental flow assessment in a very detailed poor region, and then be able to advise the national authority, the National Ganga River Management Authority, to use this similar methodology to do the assessment across the entire Ganga river system in the future. These are only a few examples. We have been doing these assessments also in many other river systems of the world. Secondly, when there is an opportunity, and we also work with partners to restore the connectivity. And I'd like to share with you some of the work that personally was involved back to the beginning, around 2004-2006. This is the case that in the central Yangtze, so this is the entire map of China. The central Yangtze is about, central and lower Yangtze is about this part of China. The central Yangtze used to be an area that's full of lakes. In one province, like the Hubei province, it's called the province of 1,000 lakes. Literally, it's more than 1,000 lakes. However, due to the development, especially in the 50s, 60s, 70s, lots of these lakes have been reclaimed as agricultural land. And because of that, many lakes got controlled. And at the moment, only 3 lakes, the major one, Dongting Lake, Huayang, another one called Shi Lake, still have natural connectivity, not the dam yet, but all the rest have been dammed. This is little cartoon that I developed, try to show what do we mean by control those lakes. So in natural conditions, not the case. But then, because the local community, they want to develop the lake area, so they build a little sluice gate, or we call it regulator, and they build a few dike. then within each of the area, then they can control the water level, they can pump out the water, and then become like a polder. This is the concept probably for the Dutch college you're very familiar, but we also call it polder in China. So after they build all this stuff, they pump out the water, and they develop their agriculture, they even build their house in those areas. So because of this, thousands of lakes, lots of their connectivity with the major river, which you can imagine. You can imagine the scale is massive. The scale is massive. So more than 7,000 associates were built in this region. The impacts could have varies from the economic perspective, even from the flood retention perspective. That means 1/3 of the flood retention capacity was lost, which is about 8 billion cubic meters. To put that number into the context, 8 billion cubic meters is about 2/3 of the total flood control capacity of the 3 Gorges dams. So the flood control capacity of the 3 Gorges dams is 12 billion. And because of the lake and wetland reclamation, we lost about 1/3 of their flood retention capacity. Water pollution, you can imagine, because it lost the natural connectivity within the river system, water becomes still, and that's why the carrying capacity becomes very, very low. And in many lakes, the RV blooms, particularly in the summer or in the spring. The first one was reported in 2007 in Wuxi Lake, which really drew attention of the top leaders of China. It also means biodiversity loss. And in such a great river system, which used to so much rich in terms of biodiversity, but we lost this species already, which is Betty. Another species, Fenris popos, is still under threatened. The total population got halved in the past 10 years. And this is the original livestock. The total population is about 2,500 something. It's very, very, very small population. If you look at the fish species in those lakes, so Dr. Hu Guijian did a survey in 2001-2002, which basically concluded, for example, this is the West Dongting Lake, which is still naturally connected to the major Yangtze River history. All these lakes, they lost the connectivity. Then if you look at how many species lost, so in West Dongting was about 20, but all the other lakes, which have been controlled, they have lost much, much more species compared to the one that still have the natural connectivity with the Yangtze. Similarly, if you look at the migratory species, the loss of the other, the decrease of the migratory species in the lakes is also very, very obviously much higher compared to the one that still have the natural connectivity with the Yangtze. So, starting from 2002-2003, supported by the HSBC Bank, we started to discuss with the local authorities how to open those sluices. And finally, we succeeded here in the Danghu Lake, and then gradually, the other lakes following this example, to open those sluice gates, at least to be able to facilitate the seasonal connectivity between the lake and the river system. And then the large scale happening in the July 2005, which will facilitate the Baidang and Anxing Lake cluster to open all the sluice gates to restore the seasonal connectivity with the Yangtze. So this is just a few photos to show that this is a sluice gate built on the embankment. It's very massive. You can see the people here. You can see the scale of the sluice gate. And then when the sluice gate opens, then water can flow back to the lake system. And this now becomes the common practice in those provinces in the central Yangtze. And it's also have been included in the provincial policies, have been included in the provincial budget to open the sluices in the June region. So reoperate those infrastructures is one way, and which had been mentioned also by Professor Yu yesterday, try to remove, in fact, remove one of the chapter dam in Xijialan to have to protect the salmon species here. To remove the aged dams is also gradually become a common practice. So these show two examples in the US, how the dams have been removed. In fact, if you look at the US, many dams have been removed in the past, especially in the past 20 years. US also set up specific regulation and process to assess those aged dams, and then get all the stakeholders involved in dam removal decisions and discussions. In many other countries also, for example, this case of Spain, they have also been restored, remove the infrastructures, may be able to restore the connectivity. Also, examples in France also remove dams in the system. Those three countries, the WEF was not involved, but I just want to share with you the rethinking about those infrastructure. They were built for the right purpose, for the good reasons, but the time changed. Time changed. Now we have new knowledge, we have new different understanding, but also it's different context. When there is opportunity, we will have to work on that, how to manage them, when it's possible, how to remove them to restore the river connectivity. The third element is about, in fact, those are the should be the third element. The third element is how to operate some existing infrastructures. And here again, we have been working in a few countries, but the most successful cases that I've involved is about the Three Gorges Dam operation. The Three Gorges Dam project initially got three major operational objectives. The first priority is flood control. The second priority is hydropower. The third one is navigation. After a few years collaborating with the WEF and also with scientists that we invited into the partnership, then the authority recognized they should include a fourth operational objective, which is about to mitigate the environmental impacts, especially on the downstream areas. So that has been included now as the fourth operational priority. But also since 2010, we have been testing the environmental flows for the Three Gorges Dam, especially before the summer monsoon season. Annually, they need to empty the reservoir to get prepared for the flood coming from the upstreams. And how to empty the reservoir becomes a very interesting process. And advised by us, by the scientists, we advise them to release the water in a relatively short time. So that could create a little pause. That will have the downstream fishes to improve their spawning activities. According to the monitoring results, it's very positive. In some years, the fish spawning activities increase about 10%, according to the fish flies we monitored. And in some of those years, it could increase about 17% in some of the years. It's a very positive process. And we also hope by using this, we could, Three Gorges dams as a symbol. We could also inspire or also encourage other dam operators in the future, not only in China, but also in many parts of the world, to be able to rethink about how they could reoperate their infrastructures in the future. And they be able to develop a common practice and guidelines to support their operation in the future. The fourth element I want to mention, I want to share with you, is basic planning. I think we heard lots yesterday about the spatial planning in Thailand. And basic planning is one, from our perspective, basic planning is one type of spatial planning. But the planning unit is not like a county or province. The planning unit in this case is the river basin. And yesterday we hear about that we need to bring the ecologists and the development community together And in fact, basin planning is the process, is the opportunity where we can bring the ecologists, the engineers together, decision makers, other stakeholders together to think how are we going to maintain, how are we going to manage the basin to achieve a river that everybody would like to see in the future. Very often, because in the typical basin planning exercise, as mentioned yesterday, the engineers, they're looking at the dams. Then the ecologists, the conservationists, they look at which part of the river needs to be protected. If they never talk with each other, potentially they will have a conflict, for example, this area. So this is the proposed dam by the engineers, but also this is the proposed priority area for conservation. If they don't talk with each other, potentially they will have these kinds of conflicting areas. To solve this conflict, the only way to do is to bring them together to discuss, is there any alternatives in this kind of basin? And potentially, for the ecologists, they could identify another alternative region. And also for the engineers, so if they could find other alternative region, probably they could allow the engineers to build them here. And then the engineers potentially could also find another places where they can develop their dams. For example, in this case, they could build another two on this tributary. Anyway, this tributary has been dammed already. And that will produce similar amount of hydro. At the same time, they could free up this tributary for conservation. So this is just a term that's developed by the colleagues and the scientists in the GSA, how important to bring the different communities together to do the joint basin planning. And the lab has been worked with in the field basis, trying to use this concept to say in the reality what could be done. So we have been worked with ADB, which in fact is also supported by USAID, to look at a development process for the Mekong, which is called Rapid Basin-Wide Hydropower Sustainability Assessment Protocol. And this protocol is exactly trying to bring the different stakeholders together, try to bring the ecologists, the engineers, the decision makers, and the financiers together to discuss how they could develop the hydropower in the Mekong Basin in the future. Because everybody understands the basin, the region still need hydropower to support their economy. The lab also worked with the Brazilian scientists and government agencies to develop the hydrological information system in the Amazon region, to be able to bring all the different information together from the conservation, but also from the development need, and then be able to overlay all these informations on the map. They be able to advise the stakeholders where are the priority areas for protection, where are the potential areas that you can develop much more hydro in the future, and where there's trade-offs between hydropower installed capacity, flooded areas, and also biodiversity priority areas. So look at those few trade-offs, and then have the industry to make much wiser decisions in the future. Lastly, we also work with different scientists, communities, policy institutes to try to mainstream these ideas, mainstream the environmental flows into the national and global policies. You have been to the COP last year. The Ramsar, which is the Wetlands Commission, in their COP last year, they included a resolution which is really about to ensure the water requirement of all sorts of wetlands, which in another term we call environmental flows. We have been also support the hydropower sustainability assessment protocol. Together, this protocol initially was developed by IHA, International Hydropower Association, but then with the GNC, WWF, Transparency International, and Oxfam, we have them upgraded and they become a sector protocol. And this protocol has been endorsed by all the hydropower companies within the IHA and have been piloted in 30 places now. And this protocol could be used, could help the industry to decide in the planning process, but also in the operational process, what kinds of performance area they could focus on. They could use this protocol to assess the sustainability level of their project. We have been supporting the Chinese government through their basic planning process, advise them to include the environmental flows in all the river basin management plans. And the government just approved the river basin plans for 7 major river basins in 2013. And for each of the river now they got the environmental flow as the targets for them to achieve in the future. Similarly in Mexico, we have been working with CONAGUA. CONAGUA is a national water committee in charge of water resource management of the country, help them to develop water reserves. Water reserves are the places that both can supply water in the future, but also to save those water reserves, you will have to ensure enough water will be kept there. You will have to look at the environmental flows, you will have to look at water allocation for those water reserves. Similar as I mentioned in Mara, we have been also working with the Kenya government to look at how the environmental flows could be incorporated into their national water laws. And also, this has been also mentioned by Jane Davis yesterday, how to manage the impacts. And from the WEF perspective, we have kinds of the different steps or categories. The ideal situation, from our perspective, we should try to avoid any impact on the river connectivity. The best approach to avoid the major impact is through the jointly energy planning and joint basin planning. At the early stage, if we could try to involve the stakeholders in this stage, we potentially could avoid lots of impact. If we try everything here, but then there's still some projects will have to go forward. And that's also the opportunity to try to minimize the impact of any specific development project. So either it's reduce the total number or reduce the height of the dams. I mean, the third category is trying to mitigate. I think the case of the three-quarter dam is really to reoperate the infrastructure to mitigate the impacts. Last but not least, there's also opportunity to compensate or to offset. Reach about to find another place to restore into a much better status as close to the natural situations. And this one is also the one area that's in the past few years got lots of interest from the private sector, and in terms of how to compensate or offset the impact. The challenge is massive, as I said, and either in the developing world or in the developing world. I think the challenge is massive, but let's be inspired by those facing this challenge. And also, I have been working with the Chinese community for a long time, and this is the code that when we met Mr. Wang Shuchen at the Yangtze Forum, and he shared his vision in terms of what should be called a healthy river. He said a healthy river should be clean, should be flowing, it's home for fish, where people live in harmony with water. So I just want to use his wisdom to conclude my presentation. Taipei is approaching, but also tomorrow is the Mid-Autumn Festival, so I hope everybody here, but also everyone in Taiwan will have a safe, healthy, and very happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Thank you very much.